How unfortunate that he died before she was able to have an orgasm.
Not.
Welcome back in, everyone. This is Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today is all about Bridgerton Season 4. We will be discussing Part 2. I am Victoria. I am one of your hosts, and I'm a psychologist.
I'm Kamaria. I am an attorney and a pop culture writer. And before we get into this Bridgerton breakdown, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hype us up, and hit that notification bell so you can know when we release our next videos. Because, you know, we're some TV girlies. We love to chat about all the good shows, and be in the comments and let us know your thoughts. So let's start on overall thoughts of this, because I enjoyed this, like, even better than the first half. This Part 2, I'm like, you in the running for it. I think this might be the best Bridgerton story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really enjoyed it myself. I had a
Mm-hmm.
great time watching it. One of my favorite parts, I felt like Queen Charlotte when she was like, I do enjoy being amused. And I said, Kiki, yes, girl, yes. And I was amused through this Part 2 drop. So yeah, I'm up there with you. I think this is one of the top stories that they've had so far. And really, I think it's because they were able to bring in so many societal layers, love layers. Like, this one was really, this is like the authentic one. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all about authenticity and breaking the barriers to stuff.
And it just focused on the family a lot, you know, too. It's like we saw Hyacinth. I'm not pronouncing her name right, but we saw her more. Okay, Hyacinth, Gregory, like everybody was just in this story. We had, you know, it's just like, this is a family. This is a living, breathing family. That's what it felt like they replicated. I still feel like Bridgerton 1 is my favorite love story. I think just purely love story, Bridgerton 1 is my top, but this one is my favorite overall just story.
Yeah, I think this one had a lot of character development. Like, we actually, like, when we're seeing all of the other siblings, it's like they're also now, I think, at these ages within the Bridgerton storyline where we can see them becoming their own individual people. And so that is nice. And so it makes you excited for what their love stories are going to be when it's their turn.
Yeah. But let me say this one thing, though. Somebody pointed out, and I hadn't noticed it, that these things come out every 2 years. Like, the first one came out in 2020, and we're at 2026. Like, I don't have time for them giving 8 years. 8 years before we get to the love stories. They got 4 love stories on deck that we already know. Eloise, Francesca, and I told you, Michaela, is that her name? The cousin. You have Hyacinth, and then you have Gregory. That's 8 years. Like, I'm gonna need them to speed that timeline up. At least, like, come on, bring us Eloise. Eloise about to be in her 40s in real life. Like, Eloise is like literally like 38. Like, she's not young. Like, get her story. Come on, get it. But I don't know who they're gonna do next. I did see that. I think the writer had like these pens EF. That's supposed to be 5 and 6, but we don't know which order. They didn't say which order. So I'd like to see Eloise
or
first.
Francesca. Yeah, Eloise, I think we all want to see Eloise. We ready for her to either get off that spinster couch or decide to stay on it. Something. Like, we need...
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into Sophie and Benedict's love story. We got exactly what we wanted. Well, I got what I wanted out of it, but
what? Like her becoming the noble lady or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your thoughts on it?
So I like their story a lot. At first, I was kind of like, this a maid thing. It's not that big of a deal. But then as they started having Anthony come back and be like, I'm going to disown you. And like, we'll have to cut you off because like, it's going to affect Gregory, Hyacinth. It's going to tarnish all of Eloise, I guess, you know what I mean? It's going to tarnish all of us. And like, I'm like, damn, this is for real. This is like women back in the day who didn't have their own money. You know what I'm saying? Like this social clout is really like, it's everything. Because the fact when Anthony said, I will cut you off. I was like, he ain't got no money. Like,
yeah, and the mama said it too. She was like, you're gonna have to be out in the countryside. We'll write to each other, but you can't come for the holidays and birthdays and celebrations. The queen laughed at it. Lady Danbury laughed at it. Everybody like, no, a maid? Not the scum of the eye, not the bottom of my
God.
shoe. That's how they was acting, child.
No, yeah, they were. But it made it like much more real when Anthony started talking about cutting him off. I was like, oh. And then even the mama, like you said, when she was saying that, I was like, she's trying in her most endearing way to say, we will still love you. We will still everything. But this is just the way it is. There's not going to be a back and forth. And I believe in this and I want you to move forward. So yeah, I thought that was a good layering to add, because it could have just been, oh, she's just made bridge the gap or whatever. They brought in these real world consequences that made it feel that much more real,
Yes, they did. And I was wondering and I know we'll talk about Lady Mondridge and her impact in their storyline in a little bit. But one thing that Lady Mondridge said about Lady Danbury was Lady Danbury helped the queen.
Always calling her Danbury. Her name is Danbury. Lady Danbury. Okay.
But one thing Lady Mondridge was saying about Lady Danbury was that she helped Queen Charlotte shape society, and like she wants to be a driver of change. And so I am wondering, after Lady Mondridge's whole thing that she put on to make sure that Sophie and Benedict to be together, if this is going to be the start of a change in society, like if that's what we're about to start moving into, where things become a little bit more flexible and we're a little bit more generous about just understanding people are people, right? Which was also even something that was like a through line in Penelope's character as Lady Whistledown. So it will be interesting to see what happens with all of that. But one thing I will say about Sophie, I was like, girl, you getting on my nerves, because when Mama Violet came up to her and said, is there anything that you hiding? Is there anything you think I should know to help you out? And she said, no. I said, girl, she already knows. Now you was at that Penwood house with the Lees. Yeah. Go ahead and just tell her everything so that she knows that you came from a noble man.
But I don't think it would have mattered anyway, because that's what she realized when the head housemaid for her house, the lady with the white hair that's in a bun, she said when she came back from the market, she said, I ran into somebody who knew her mother, and she's like, oh, she has her mother's last name, so she must be an illegitimate child of a nobleman. And so they knew then that she had some nobility in her. They just, like, at the end, they finessed it. But let's talk about this. Let's get into the actual love story a little bit, because when Mr. Mondridge, I don't know his first name, but when Mr. Mondridge said to him, how can she trust you to navigate a complicated life with her when you can't even navigate her emotions? I think that's what he said. I was like, that's a bar. That's a bar. They
were dropping bars all through this little part too.
Because he was like, so I'm like, not you not buying a clue, sitting here waiting for this girl. She done run off. That's what a Bridgerton, part 1 left us off at. She had run off. And it's like, buy a clue, I'm about to call him Bridgerton. Buy a clue, Benedict, buy a clue. That's not for her. And so Mr. Mondridge had to break it down to him. No woman wants to be hidden. You know what I'm saying?
Even after that, though, he had the nerve to still go and ask for a response and send that letter. I'm like, boy, are you not listening? You're not listening. As if she, like, it was almost like he felt like, this is all I can give you, so accept it. Yeah. Yeah. Which happens too much in dating, to be real, right? Like, we see this all the time. I have an excuse as to why it can't be anymore. And so I want you to just take this version. Take this. Like, this is all I can give you. This is the capacity. Instead of trying to put in the effort to figure out a way to give me what I deserve. But girl, Sophie, she said, baby, I don't want to be that low. I got value. I might not be a woman of high value society, but I value myself, and I will not stoop that low for anybody. Yeah. I want to be able to work and do my thing and do the things that I love, which at this point, she likes being a maid.
Or I guess that's where I don't even know if she liked it, but she seems like she just has work ethic, and she's like, this is respectable. When she was saying that speech to him, this is respectable. Like, you're trying to take what little I have away from me. So
yeah. And I do like that she was like, why do you find it suitable to kiss me?
Yeah.
Why do you feel like, knowing my circumstance, knowing how this will harm me, that you feel like it's okay for you to keep coming over here and giving me this half-ass love? Like, this shit ain't cool. It's not cute. It's not cute. We not keeping it P, baby. We can't be together. You need to stop putting your hands and lips on me.
Yeah.
Because you know I can't resist you. You know I can't. You know the D good. That's what she was saying. Why do you find it suitable to keep coming over here, dickmatizing me, and we can't do nothing?
Yeah. No. Okay. And speaking of, let's just get into their steamy scenes, because they had some.
They
the titties. You said not the what?
Not the titties.
Oh, her. Yeah, she was. She was like, they
didn't have no nude clause, baby. I thought they was all coming with the no nude clause in 2026 on Netflix.
So hold up, is that a thing? Am I missing something?
That is a thing. Yeah, there are actors and actresses who say, like, I'm not getting nude. Like, you might be able to get a little like top chest, or maybe a side butt action, but I'm not finna have any genitalia out, on the screen. Which I mean, good for her if she's clearly okay with it. She's a grown woman,
but also good for the people.
I was just.
Yeah, because that is like, it's like people probably will be like, well, you can't work, you know, this show, and so I think that's real. We don't need the nudity. We really don't. Because even like some of their scenes were so steamy, more about like, even like when they first had sex, like they're face to face, and we're not seeing a ton of stuff, like, but it's like you see the facial expressions, you see them, like there's, it's like you can make a sex scene be hot without having the nudity. So I'm with the people who saying we not, the no nude pledge or whatever. I just found out about it today, but I feel it. I understand it. But also kudos to her. If that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do.
Yeah. I just be thinking sometimes, and this is just, I guess, just in general, but I think shows like this, like kids watch stuff like this. And so I'd be like, if I'm not sitting there watching something like this, I would think, oh, it's like a teeny bopper love story. Yeah, my kids can watch it,
Yeah.
Lo and behold, they on here naked in bed rocking for real. And that's just the progression, I feel like, of TV over the years. But I definitely was like, oh, this feels more elevated. Last season we might get a little rock and rolling and a little, I know that you putting your hands down there. This time it was,
I feel like though, I feel like nothing is as I don't say raunchy, but as season 1 Bridgerton. Like, I feel like season 1 was like, I was like, okay, this
they was
is
having
like
sex every 5 seconds.
Yes, there were so many sex scenes, and there was like, I mean, there wasn't nudity, I don't think, besides like the backside. A butt is not nudity to me. I don't. You're good. But it is. Butt. Yeah, it is nudity. I see, but this season was like, they had tamed down. I feel like season 2 and season 3 were not as like, I mean, season 2 had a little bit, but it wasn't. It was a little step back, just a slight step back from season 1. And then season 3 was more, even though Penelope did have the full nudity scene in the top half. She did have that. But that was more of like a, okay, girl, get it. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like a representation sort of thing. Like, she is this more voluptuous woman, and it's like bringing in like the sex scene.
She still wasn't naked though. I mean, like, she was naked, but we didn't see her naked body. Or am I remembering that?
We saw her breasts. Yes.
Oh,
she took that top off. Yes.
Child, take back what I said. I'm talking about the progression. We've already been there. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. You don't remember that? Yeah. Because it was like a big thing. It was like, okay. But yeah, I was talking about just like steaminess and like, how, because not Bridgerton. I keep wanting to call him Bridgerton. Benedict as his storyline is he be getting in. He dip it in and where he wanted to, and so it gives sexually experienced, So for all of the, it may, if that's not your cup of tea, you don't do the bisexual men, which we could talk about that in a little bit, because he did share that with her, and I'm like, that's good. I was wondering how they were going to deal with it, but he seemed like he know what he doing because he's used to pleasing everyone. So it seemed like a very like natural storyline that he would be able to please her very well because of he follows his pleasure wherever it leads him.
And that's on period.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into that actually. So yes, he did disclose in one of their conversations, that he finds love to be something that shouldn't be defined by society's rules. And that's, again, just like a really big theme. Society. We breaking all the barriers this season. And she seemed to take it well. She was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It seemed like she felt more in love with her. I know you know how to rock the front and the back.
Oh my God. It's so interesting that when they were in there and she was like, we can't risk it again. I thought he was about to be like, we can go in through the back. I thought that was what was about to happen. I
thought that's what was happening when he said turn around.
I thought they were.
We ain't gotta risk it if we turn around.
Hold up.
Sit on it, baby, in this bathtub.
Maybe I need to watch it again because I literally just thought that they were both giving each other like a hand job. Sorry. I thought that she was, I thought I saw her reach back and I thought he was reaching forward. That's what I was thinking was happening. I don't know, but maybe I'll watch it again and I'll see what it was.
It was like a help me place it.
Okay. Maybe. Because that's what my mind went to. I was like, Benedict, he knows how to do multiple things, So, I mean, not saying, look, he knows how to do multiple things. Is all I'm saying. And so I thought that's where it was. But then I was like, oh, they're just, they're just
fondling,
pleasing each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, any thoughts about their actual love? Now that we done moved off to sex.
Yeah.
Anything about their actual love and how they treated each other.
Sex.
Okay.
I do want to go back to the sex. Because after they had sex and she went straight to that calendar, I said, baby thinks she might be pregnant. And I was sitting there thinking, I guess it's the only way you can track your period back in these days when they're not in like modern times. Calendar.
Yeah.
And she was a couple of days late.
Yeah.
I said, baby, they need pregnancy tests because when
Francesca said she was with
baby because she was late, I said they need pregnancy tests because this is actually traumatic. To think that because you're late automatically means that you're pregnant.
Yeah. And
that must be stressful.
Yeah, because when I saw it was like the 8th, I think was her day, and then the 12th, I was like, 4 days, this girl might be pregnant. And then when she told him that she was not pregnant, I thought she was maybe lying, and we were going to find out at the end that she was. So yeah, no, that's real. But that's how we track it now, but it's just like on a app, and the app can predict for us based on our days and
Correct.
stuff.
But we can go to the store and get a test immediately instead of having somebody up in my cootie cat. I don't know what they was doing during that little examination.
Fun fact, you can't get a test immediately. You really can't. You need to just go do that plan B, because like if you were to try to get a test that early, you can't. You got to wait to 6 days after your missed period. And so it's like, girl,
but she was about there. She was at
day 3. But even still, it's like,
but not to mention back then,
she need a plan B. That's what they need. They need plan B. Just cut it. So I ain't gotta worry,
No, for real.
But yeah, now so let's get into their actual love story, because like I said in the first part, the Bridgerton part 1 we did recap, he endeared himself to me this go around. At first I was like, he doesn't seem like the one that is a catch, but I really enjoyed the unfolding of his character. I liked him fighting for her when he came in there at the end with the court and was like, excuse me, this is,
he's my girl now.
Yes, unhand her. I was like, okay. But I will say that when his brother, when Anthony was like, I wouldn't bring a child into the world, knowing that this was the future, I would never do that to my child. And he kind of got me, but I was still like, Benedict, why y'all? He kind of got Benedict too, because Benedict stepped back and Sophie gave him the out, but I was like, fight for her. You know what I'm saying? If I'm your woman, like, am I your woman or not? Like, society or not? Like, let's go. And so fight for me. So I didn't really per se like he walked away on that, even with it. Because it's like, you knew what was happening. If you go step forward and be like, you got me, Get me then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but we can go to the Americas together. Okay.
Yeah, Benedict's character is like, it has been portrayed as impulsive. He doesn't think things through all the way, and he like moves with his emotions and things like that. So it felt like his brother Anthony was coming in to say like, this is the logical piece that you're missing. Like, yeah, it would be all nice for you to go out to the cottage, but you're not thinking about all of these other things. And so I think that's what made him take a step back, even though he didn't want to. He didn't want to, you know, but he was like, you know, is this what you want to be doing? You got to think about not only yourself, but now the future of your children. You can give them all the love that they want, but they're likely going to be growing up feeling illegitimate, just like Sophie did. So
yeah, I mean, that's real, but I still was like, bruh, I need you to be 10 toes down. I need like, I need to be 10 toes down. But I do
think a nice way to bring in the whole like, the love reality. Ain't enough. You know, like love ain't enough sometimes. In some situations, you got to think about everything else. Of course, we love that it worked out in the end.
Yeah,
but I was kind of like, ooh, what do you do in this type of situation? Yeah. You know, do you go with who you feel is your soulmate, or do you feel like you can find another love? It may not be as great, but is it worth walking down this path, and it may not be all that she thought it was gonna be?
Because it does almost circle you back to the mistress. Like, let's revisit that. Because it's like, y'all can still be loved, but at the same time, y'all, the issue with the children would still exist.
He was still offering an apartment. He said, you won't have to work a day in your life again.
I
come over. You just
but yeah,
can't be wifey.
Right. And that's, like I said, loved this storyline, loved that they made it real for us, like with the consequences, because it wasn't just, oh, this is a maid, just what's the big deal? It's like, no, dishonor, like, you know, Mulan, dishonor on your family. Like,
right.
I don't know. I'm a Mulan girl.
I love Mulan too. That's actually my favorite Disney movie.
Oh, really? Yeah. I enjoyed it. But anyway, anything else on their love story?
I did love how they circle back to the pictures, because I was like, what they gonna do with them pictures? He was over there drawing her over and over and over again. And so there was the one part where she found him in the study, which was cute, but then also realizing that the necklace was a part of the drawing. I was like, oh, what a way for him to find out that it was her. Because I'm like, when are they going to find, when is he going to find out that it was her? And then she left the glove to say, hey, like, to confirm, yes, this was me. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah, no, that was cute. The other thing I wanted to mention that I don't think we talked about was him talking to his mother when he was in a stairwell. Because Mama, you said it last time, Mama Bridgerton is going to have a little itch, a little inkling. And she did. She was like, what's happening? But when she went after him, because he was going after Sophie, she was like, leave him be. And he was like, Mother, you're betting a man with your kids down the hall. Don't talk to me. It's hypocritical. And also at the end, when he talked to her about her being hypocritical about, you always say you want a love match for us, and then I have one, and here you go. I actually got a little emotional on that. I was like, this is real. Like, this, you're sitting here denying him of this love that you always want your kids to have, this love match. And here he has it, and you see that he has it, because it's not that she don't see, she saw it. She just, you know, so I liked his conversations. That the first one was a little disrespectful to the mama, being like, you're betting a man,
because baby,
that's her business.
Talking to?
I know,
who
right?
You talking to?
But I did feel him on the second one, because she came, especially on the day of the funeral or something, like he was already just, I'm at the emotion. He was like, not today. I felt him, because, you know, we love our moms.
Yeah.
Sometime the timing is off, but he was like, not today, mama. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was an interesting piece of their story. And then also the first night they slept together, Sophie and Benedict, they watched the sun come up. I'm like, y'all know her ass would have been snuck in the nighttime back into her quarters. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all too comfortable, falling asleep. I was almost like, is the whole house up? But they tell us, you know, that they're up before anyone. But I'm like, y'all a little comfortable up in here. And the whole house was there. I forgot about that. The whole there was a ball downstairs, and they fucking upstairs.
Right. Very risky. Very risky.
But anyway, let's get into some of how they are able to end up being together. This Arminta, is that how we pronounce her name?
Arminthia Gunn.
Arminthia and her just ruthlessness and just how all of that unfolded. Basically, she was a dog seeking a bone about them clips, but really it's about that will. As you said in our first Bridgerton recap, you want to see the will.
Yeah,
we see
and
it.
lo and behold, she had a dowry in there. Yeah, it's very interesting. I do like how every season we get this contrast of mothers. You know, last season it was Cressida's mom, and usually it's been Cressida's mom or Penelope's mom, but they brought in a new character with Arminthia this season, and it just shows like mothers who want to almost live vicariously through their daughters, how they become super enmeshed, super controlling, super critical, instilling this need for perfection on their children, right? And like how that then turns into how they treat others. I was like, okay, job well done to the writers on this one, because it shows like how some mothers are willing to go like at lengths to make sure they get what they want in certain situations. And so I was so happy to see that her shit was thrown right back at her at the end of this, because she was evil.
Yeah.
She was so mean. And I did not understand why she felt like it would have been such a burden to have to raise Sophie in society. Like,
I mean, I think it's a part of the whole, it's society's perception, and I think it would have been a stain. And so I think that like no one per se knew about this illegitimate child, and if she's having to raise her, then it's going to be like, who is she? How is she? Not mind you, don't nobody know her. She done come from flipped out some other place. Right. You know what I'm saying? It could have been like, this is my third daughter and whatever, but she just felt like this is an illegitimate child and this is a stain on me and my daughters. I think was the issue. It didn't really feel like perception.
I mean, the daughter, not Posey, but the other one, I forgot her name. She was like, Sophie has never been a threat to us. Like, and I'm tired of talking about her. And she would not have been a threat. One, because she was in the will as his child. So I don't think it would have been a stain. Like, because who would have been talking about it? Who would have said anything?
I mean, I think the town would have, because I'm just trying to go in with their storyline. I think that it would have been an issue because she's an illegitimate daughter, and she just wanted the money.
She just wanted the money.
That too, but I really like, you saw the scene in first part, the Bridgerton part 1, where he was like, and this is my ward, and then she made a face immediately. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think she immediately understood what society would feel about her, and the fact that her husband has this illegitimate daughter. And I just think it was a stain. I think it's part of this little society shit. And that's what I think was the issue. And she just wants to get rid of her, period. She didn't want, and she wanted her to suffer too, because she was just mad. You know, she's mad at her.
Well, that, and I mean, she said that she had I can't remember exactly what she was saying about how she grew up and like needing to feel like she had to be perfect, right? And so,
sob story. I was like, Posey was falling for that shit. I'm like, Posey, keep your boundaries up.
No, literally, she fell right into that trap. I was like, ooh, she nasty. She just rude, like, ooh. But what I think, like, what they were trying to do, because again, in that conversation she had with Posey, she was talking about whatever insecurity it was. I should have written it down, but it seemed like she herself didn't come from this like family of nobility. She didn't have noble beginnings.
Yeah. She seemed like she had to struggle. Yeah, something.
She had to struggle, right? And so sometimes, like, when you see yourself in others, it's like, I'm gonna put you down because I don't want anything that can remind me of my own past to come creeping in. Even though Sophie technically still came from the nobleman that you decided to marry. And so it's like, you are a representation of exactly what I don't want. And so I'm going to push you to the side while also trying to make sure my lineage, which is my kids, is in the best position possible. And so she's trying to live her life through her children. She doesn't see her children as individuals. She sees them as extensions of herself. And so their successes, their failures becomes hers, and now they're just in this interweb of just not being able to be themselves and blah 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 blah. But yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a good theme to throw in there because we saw it a little bit with Cressida, we saw it a little bit with Penelope, and they both had these times in their storyline where they grew up and were like, I want to be me. I want to go after what I want to go after. And they have like these shifts in their character development. And so it'll be interesting to see if Posey and the other sister do as well. It seems like Posey is well on her way, but we'll see if the other sister does. But yeah, it's a lot of daughters out here with enmeshed mothers. And it's not fun to deal with. It's not. It's very self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the dynamic of actually getting the queen to be on board, because that's part of it as well. They wrapped that thing on up. You know what I'm saying? They said, can we get the queen to vouch for us, basically? And so I guess there's a little bit of trickery going on in that whole dynamic, because I'm like, what's happening actually? But I guess it's like, she's not of nobility. She's just being, the queen is just vouching that she is, because she's the daughter, and then that's all. It's like, that's all. No more questions asked. I wonder though how, like, people who know was a maid, what's with that? You know what I'm saying? What do they like? They were at the wedding even. You know what I'm saying? So the people.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. It's either it's that or it's gonna be the story was written incorrectly. She wasn't supposed to be a maid. Before the queen came into the room, Mama Bridgerton and Benedict were like, we're going to recount these events to make it right. Mm-hmm. And so when the queen ended up coming into the room, she said, oh yeah, this is his cousin. She favors him or whatever. So I think that's going to be the storyline within society. And then for the people who know that she was a maid, I don't know if I feel like it's going to be she shouldn't have been a maid. She was already a woman of society, and then these things happen for the ones that know her, mm-hmm. because they already knew
that she was smart.
Arminthia, that, and then they know Arminthia is crazy. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's just gonna be she wasn't supposed to be a maid. She don't act like one. She don't speak like one. She don't,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
She don't read like one. So
I was kind of like, what? How she can dance all of a sudden at the end? But I was like, I guess maybe going to Hyacinth's dance like rehearsals or practice, I guess, because she was just like knew the dances at the end.
Probably.
But I loved how they, not just Benedict, but also Mama Bridgerton came up in there and was like toe to toe, like Mama Bridgerton and the wild girl, the feisty little girl. Because if you've seen Queen Charlotte, you do see that. They portrayed her as a very like. Have you seen Queen Charlotte?
Yeah, she's portrayed as very courageous and up there,
and mm-hmm. she has a mind of her own and stuff like that. But I guess when that moves into this woman who is a wife or whatever and is not necessarily going down that same rambunctious pathway, it turns into being a wise mother. It turns into being able to notice shit. You know what I'm saying? It turns into being able to give your kids sound advice because you've
been through some stuff.
Yeah, you weren't just this go along to get along type of woman. You come with your own wisdom and your own womanly, I don't know, like curiosity and intelligence. But yeah, so I like that. I like that she came out and she was just like, brum, 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 brum. And Lady Mondridge set that up. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to her. I love that they're giving her that also, that like women are smart. Women are smart, you know what I'm saying? And they know how to socially navigate and socially set things up in a way that can be beautiful. And,
Yeah, it's giving women save the day. I mean, it's just giving what always happens,
No,
women save the day. Leave it up to a woman, it will get done. That's what it's given, because leave it up to Benedict, they would have been out on the countryside in a cottage.
Right. Right. But yeah, I like the fiery energy that they all came into that courtroom with, and it was nice to see, in my view.
And probably so healing for Sophie's character, because she had this big lingering question of, did my father love me because he left me nothing? And so this feels like love, but is it going to actually be love in practice? Like, I don't know. You might fail me one day. And so I think even though she did not call for them, the fact that they showed up for her, I think it was healing for her, which I loved.
And when he was like, Sophie, like, have you actually seen this will?
Right.
I was like, go ahead, Benedict. That's what we need.
Right? Yeah. That's when he came in with that masculine energy and said, wait a minute now.
Have you seen it? Because this woman, we know her character. Like, so that was nice. And just nice that the whole family's on board. So it's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to see season 5. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. They cannot have us waiting 2 years. Stop playing with us.
Hopefully playing. They don't, but they have notoriously come back with that thing every 2 years.
I'm like, 8 years to get through these stories that we know are... Y'all need to stop. Every year. Come on. Every year. I can't. But anywho.
Yeah.
Anything else on Arminthia, Gunn, her family, Posey, and the connection with the Penwood house? We can dip into Cressida a little bit because she's the new Lady Penwood.
Yeah, interesting. I said the story moves with or without Cressida. She's back. It still felt like the story could move with or without Cressida. I thought it was a nice way to spin her back in. When they first pulled up to the house, she put her hand out the window, the carriage window. And I was like, okay, who is this lady? Who are they introducing? And lo and behold, it was Cressida, child. Yeah. And I just said, all right, okay. It would be nice to see how her character develops now that she's had like this turn of a character leave, but we shall see. It don't seem like too many people fucking with her, and I'm not surprised by that. So I don't know, child. The queen don't like her. Penelope don't like her. So I don't know.
Yeah, I thought Eloise was going to like her a little bit more because it seemed like they were building this friendship, but Penelope ass was like, bitch. Like, Penelope was like, no, I ain't fucking with her. I ain't writing about your party. I'm not doing any of that. But the one thing I was gonna say about Cressida though was they made her a sympathetic character in ish last season because her mother was the worst, and it seemed like she didn't have a lot of options. She was a prisoner to her womanhood, really. But this season, they allowed her to escape that. But now she's like a prisoner to this societal, like this gossip, the opinions of society. So it was just interesting. It's like sometimes you can't escape this shit. You can't escape it. But yeah,
that in your past, just it catches up with you, So how you treat people matters. Of course, people deserve grace and forgiveness, and that can come, but I mean, it takes a while to rebuild trust after you've broken it, especially the way she broke it. She wasn't nice to a lot of people. But in terms of her and Eloise, it does seem like their friendship was getting going. It seemed at first it was she wasn't fucking with her for real. But when they were sitting there talking, they was talking about the books and they was kikiing, and she stayed for tea. So that might still be somebody on her side. We'll see how that develops next season. But anything else on them, or should we ready to go into Francesca and Lord John Stirling, rest his soul? Okay. Baby, I felt for her, honey, when she was like, the one thing I was supposed to do was give that man a child, and I didn't do it. I was like, dog, it's some women out here who really feel like that's their duty, and that's what that was given for her. And kudos to you if that's what you want to do. But yeah, that's unfortunate. And I was also thinking how unfortunate that he died before she was able to have an orgasm.
Not? I thought you were about to say before she was able to have a child, not an orgasm. But yeah, no, that is unfortunate in that way too. But yeah, I will say this. I wasn't unmoved by his death, but I feel like they could have. That's the one thing I think they could have done a little bit more of on the front end while he was living, giving us a little bit more interaction with the family. Like, he was there, but a lot of their scenes seemed to be him, Francesca, and Michaela, the cousin, and that seemed to be their scenes. So when Benedict stood up there and was just like, he was a great man. And everybody was just had all these words. I'm like, I feel like I ain't seen y'all interact with John Stirling that one time. Okay. Yeah. And so
he was they did. I don't remember seeing it at all either. He was giving very much so side character.
Yeah. And so it's like, I understand that this is the family and that's the storyline. We're not going to see everything that they're trying to tell us in the storyline, but I feel like they could have thrown in a few scenes. Like they had a couple men's only moments, and they could have thrown him in there. Like he at the bar with them, in the tavern, he's shooting the shit with them, or even that married husband's tea that they had, and they were giving Gregory advice. Like he could have been in there. It felt like these are easy scenes, just plop him in there because y'all laid him out like he was just like, oh my God, and it was sad for Francesca, of course, but I didn't feel like I feel like they could have gave a little bit more to the him in the family storyline for all the energy that they gave this.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I definitely was sitting there thinking, like, is he busy? Did he have another role somewhere else? Is that why he had limited scenes?
No, girl, it's in the book. I told you, girl. They set it up.
I know, but they
just
plopped it on us. Like, they just plopped it on. It was like, he going to bed, now he dead. Like, it was just, he had a headache, now he dead. Like, it wasn't, I thought he was about to get sick or something. Like, I don't know. They had those moments where he was talking about having low energy or he's staring off into space, but it just, he's dead. So it was the worst written part, I think, of the storyline in terms of development, because he wasn't a character that you felt connected to. He just felt like a side piece, quite honestly. So I didn't have too much to say besides that, really.
Well, I do want to speak on like Francesca, though. I felt like they did a good job displaying her grief, this way of grieving, because I was like, not her lying. Well, because was she lying?
But grief,
or was she just missing her period? So she thought she
That's
was
why I said they need tests, because I don't know if it's because she missed her period that she thought she was pregnant, or what. But she also didn't want to be evaluated, so she could have also been lying, just for the grief can send you into delirium just a little bit, So maybe she felt like she had to make it up as the guy was coming to talk about the will and all the things. And, in this society, having an heir is important. And so
and a male heir at that.
And a male heir. And so the fact that did not happen, kind of like, how will this go? It will be interesting for this storyline, because I know you said that possibly Michaela is not going to be the love interest for Francesca. Or it is.
Why you keep not believing this?
Oh, okay. Well, child. If she is, it will be interesting if now they are bringing in how, a lesbian couple can have a baby. And I'm wondering if if Michaela is now the heir to things, like if she's the next family member in line, since there's no child.
Yeah.
And if they have a child that way, does that now make an heir?
Yeah, I don't know how they even gonna do it, because what's the technology of 18 wherever they at? Like, it don't seem like they're going to have that. They might go to
an orphanage.
Ask
for a sperm donor.
Oh, maybe actually that's like that technology been existing.
Yeah.
That they might be like, look, sir, whoever, because Benedict might know somebody's shoot that ain't trying to have, who knows?
I was gonna say they might ask one of her siblings or something, like, to donate, to inseminate, and so that it's still both bloodlines,
part of the family. True. Yeah, that'll be interesting. But the bloodline thing is very interesting, because I remember on part 1, like Bridgerton part 1, I think they called Penelope and Colin's child Lord Featherington, and I wonder if he's Lord Featherington because he's never going to be an heir for the Bridgerton side, because they've already got the son and they've got that's the line. But on the mother's side, there's an estate and it never had sons, and so the first son, even though he's a Bridgerton, he's going to be Lord Featherington.
Yeah, it could be.
But anyway, anything else on them before we go into Penelope? Speaking
of Penelope, the queen. First, my biggest question is, who is the new Whistledown? I love that they've tied that back in with a new Raya. I'm like, okay, now we get to be on the edge of our seats trying to figure out who is who. And it seems like Penelope doesn't even know.
Yeah, no, I like that. I would love for it to still be like maybe a Penelope or a Eloise or something like that.
What if it's Posey?
Posey, yeah,
I don't think it's
maybe.
Posey. She a little airhead, but
She is. But I don't know who it will be. But I'm glad they threw it back in there because I'm like, when she said she retired, I was like, oh, she's retiring. And then they opened up the next either episode or next scene or something like that. And it wasn't Dearest Gentle Reader. I was like, you need to Dearest Gentle Reader me, okay? Stop it. I ain't like that. And so I'm glad. And I also felt like they could have, speaking of her and the Queen, they could have just had her do her Whistledown column just for the Queen, because it seemed like they were describing it perfectly. Like, she don't want to embarrass the people. People not telling her to gossip. She could tell the people that it's no Whistledown no more. But the Queen want to know the gossip. She in a cage. She can't interact with the people, and so she could have still continued that. So that's why I felt like they could have done. But the people having a new Whistledown is fine too. I just hate that it's like, she built that, like, don't try to come and take it from her. So that's that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I actually really enjoyed how they tied in this whole idea of being in a cage and the Queen not being able to actually interact with people. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, if Lady Danbury wasn't giving her the gossip, mm-hmm. she didn't know what was going on, Mm-hmm. But Whistledown was of service in that way. Mm-hmm. I was wondering, with Penelope being married, does that mean, or not even being married, but I was just wondering, like with class and stuff, I was thinking that they were going to make Penelope a lady in waiting. That's what I thought was going to happen because of the drama. Yeah. You're right. Like, she is. Like, she comes and she tells the Queen what's going on. But I love how Penelope said, like, I'm no longer a wallflower. Like, I've been outed. Like, mm-hmm. it is what it is. And I wanted them to say, it's your fault, Queen, because you the one who wanted me to be announced.
I know.
Like, you
put a bounty on my head.
Right. You wanted everybody to know it was me, and now I'm here and I can't do my job. Nobody is chit-chatting and quiet anymore. I can't just slither through the rooms. Everybody is now using me as this tool to either bring them up or to tear other people down, and I don't want any parts. So yeah, I liked it. I was like, this is cool. This is cute. And then I was super excited when that new reader came in. I thought it was still Penelope, but it was whatever else she wanted to write next. And then when she said, oh, this is the new Whistledown. I said, oh, cute. Very cute. Very cute. Very exciting.
Yeah, I wonder who it was. What if it's Lady Mondridge? But she's a queen. She's a lady in waiting. People probably like suck up to her a little bit too now. So it's probably not her. It's probably somebody like Eloise or just somebody unexpected, right? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Queen. Since we're talking about the Queen, let's talk about Lady Danbury and all of their situation. Like, I cried when she was down there and she was like, ha, she was laughing. She was like, we have fun. Because I was like, this right here, I don't think we spoke on this last time, and that's what I really wanted to say about like being emotional about them. This right here is sisterhood personified. That, like, we have so much fun as women together. Like, even this podcast, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. It's like, we as women have so much fun, and that's why sisterhood is just like, that's part of it, because the other part of it is also like, we are safe spaces for each other to bring the deepest issues and difficulties. But when she said we have fun, I'm like, girl, that's it right there. It's like, you ain't never had fun. I ain't never had fun the way I've had with my homegirls, with any man. Like, I done had some men be hilarious and they're funny always. Like, and I have brothers, they're very funny, and so very good times. But the fact when she said we have fun, it's a different level. When you're with women, it's just a different level. I love it. It's spiritual to me. And so I love that they put that in here.
I agree. I think the sisterhood thing is like a woman's greatest love. To be honest, it gives you everything you need outside of that romantic piece. But it still has so much intimacy wrapped into it, And so I love that they personified that with them and her leaving. And I definitely was like, doggone, Lady Danbury, hopefully you still in next season. I'm like,
I gotta do some Googling on that, because I don't know if this is an exit for her character. I feel like if it was an exit for her character, it would be bigger. I don't think it was an exit for her character. It feels like it was just an exit for like a shift in the storyline for the Queen. I think she'll be back. That's what I feel like, but who knows? I don't know. Some of these characters have left. Like, Daphne, ain't seen her since season 2. The Duke, gone.
Yeah. Very gone. But yeah, I also enjoyed with their storyline kind of wrapping back into Whistledown. When Penelope said, like, being in a cage and being stuck, like, you're not allowing people to have their free will. Like, that very thing that you don't like about your position that you also love about Lady Whistledown, you're trying to do to other people. And so I think that was her wake-up call. Like, okay, I gotta let Lady Danbury go. Yeah, so sad. And then Lady Mondridge came in and said, "Babe, you're missing all the drama because you stuck in the past, baby.
Yeah.
You stuck in the past. We gotta come forward."
Yeah.
So also excited to see Lady Mondridge development as a lady in waiting. I think she's gonna do an excellent job. And it seems like she built her confidence. Also, side note, love that her husband, how they have their little, boom, boom, handshake or whatever. It was just upping her up. Like, girl, no, you is the shit, babes.
Yeah,
you got this. I know it's not something you voluntarily signed up for, but you can do this. You can move the room. You can shake shit up. So do what you do, sister. Yeah. Love that.
I love how he supports her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Nothing else on them.
Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and get into Mama Bridgerton and Lord Marcus, honey. At first I was like, are they setting Lord Marcus up to be a man who can't commit?
I know, right?
That first initial conversation they had, I was like, come on now. Come on now. Then he said, no, actually, I would love to marry you. What did you think about her response at the end?
First of all, I loved her response because I do think that we're so conditioned via media in this society. A lot of times media has so much influence on us and we don't even realize it. But to be like, oh, that happily ever after is always a man. And it's like, she's sitting here, the head of this family. And when she said it, when she was like, I just kind of want to be on my own or not be defined in another role, I was like, that actually makes sense for her. I was all here like, oh yes, she needs a love because society is like, you gotta be partnered. But the fact that she was just like, I have had a great love and she's got these kids, she's got herself, she's in a different space. So I really, really love this. I love this as a storyline. So here for it.
I like them together. So I was a little sad.
Well, I don't know why he said he can't
do the non-commitment.
Yeah, because he's just said a couple days before that he can't. That he would.
Yes,
either way,
but he did that for her. Yeah, he did that for her.
He didn't do it for her now, okay? Because I don't understand. He said it before. He said, I don't feel like you want to do the committal thing, so yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. To me, it was giving role reversal. Usually, sometimes it's the woman in Marcus's spot and the man in Violet's spot where it's like, oh, I said I wanted to commit, but I actually don't. So it was giving role reversal with this. And so he probably like
reasons. But go ahead.
Yeah, it is different reasons, but it was given like, you done teased me with this idea of us being together. You said let's wait because of everything that's going on with Francesca, and now you said you don't want it at all, girl. Please. But yeah, I was a little sad. I was at the same time though rooting for her because I enjoyed the storyline of, yes, you don't need to be married to have a good time. And she's done it already, and she's raised these kids and she's been doing it for a very long time by herself. So yeah, I get it, sis. You want to be free and not be confined to, like you said, another role. But
and I don't even know if it's so much as like freedom as much as it is like just a recognition that, oh, I want to focus on who I was and get back to just me. And I don't know if that's fair to another person to be like, I'm going to marry you, but then I'm about to be on this self-discovery journey type of thing. And so I feel like it's really just about trying to get back to her, you know what I mean? And I like that, I do like that.
Yeah,
so
I think there's still freedom in that though, because when you're in a relationship, you're often pouring so much into a partner. Not to say that you can't pour into yourself, but you have to share that energy. It's split, and hopefully it's a reciprocal relationship, so you're not feeling drained by sharing that energy. But yeah, sad. Let's go ahead and get into Eloise and all the other siblings, Hyacinth, Gregory, Colin, etc. I did say in the first drop of episodes, I felt like Eloise, she was being selfish. I was not feeling Eloise's character at all. But she had some large growth moments in this drop of episodes, and I really appreciated that. Mm-hmm. And I think she's starting to come around to this idea of love. It seems like they're teeing her up for it.
I hope so. Okay, because even that talk with Cressida that's one of the things I forgot to mention about that. But it was nice of her talking about there are other elements to love, and this author was just undervaluing that this is real. And so I loved the moment with her and Highsmith at the end where it's like they got a little bit of something from each other. Like Highsmith's like, I think I will focus on myself before I, spend this time to focus on myself. And that's obviously Eloise influence. And then Eloise is just like, I understand like this whole family, the fact that we have siblings is birthed from this space of love. And it felt like a real sister moment because having a sister, you're not always seeing eye to eye, but my sister is literally probably my best friend, but there are things that you start to develop and there's things that you gain from your interaction with each other. And it's never just all smooth, all like it's my bestie. It's like, there are moments in there where you're not seeing eye to eye. And then there's always that repair, at least in my relationship with my sister. And so I loved seeing that. It felt authentic. That's why I was saying like in the beginning that this season really gave us these family stories, and it just felt like it brought this family so much more alive and gave it so much more depth. So I like that aspect.
Agreed. And then we got a little bit of Gregory and Colin in there, especially when they was having the guide chats and things like that, and just talking about, what it means to fall in love, how we saw was it Gregory out on the dance floor and Highsmith out there during that recital, baby. I said, but not a black person for both of y'all.
Oh,
Gregory was like, "Oh, she is divine." I said, "Well, what a choice of words! What a choice of words!"
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, so they about to tee that up, baby."
But it's probably not the same people that they're. But maybe that they're
maybe.
He
said, I think I'm in love.
See, if they're gonna make me wait, I know if they're gonna make me wait 2 years, I'm gonna have to read these books because I need to know what's happening. Okay, I need to know. Like, for real, what's happening?
Honestly.
These people getting on my nerves. 2 years, stop it. 2 years is too long. Shonda, we love it, but it's too long. You get what I'm saying? Shonda may not even, 8 years.
Do not go into a tangent about this. We already for an hour. Come on.
I'm just disappointed, though. I can't live this life 8 years. Okay. Anywho, but anyway, that's the end. That's all. We had time for me because, I ain't got nothing else to say. That's the end of the episode, right?
No, we got to talk about
the wedding. Did you see the wedding? Because I almost didn't see it. Yes, I'm like,
I knew to keep watching because it was still There's so much time left. They're not giving us 7 minutes of credit.
I just saw that they didn't take me off, and so I was, they'll tee up the next show.
Oh yeah, tee up something
and they didn't do that, and so that's why I kept playing. They do this every season. Is that what you're saying?
I feel like they do.
Oh,
I could be wrong.
Go back and watch the rest of them.
But the other thing. So the first drop, there was the Maid Wars, and we saw that the head lady in the Featherington house went over to Lady Lee's house.
Oh yeah,
she like, I'm sick of this hoe.
Yeah,
but she ended up getting fired. She got fired.
Yeah,
and now she's back. Now she back. And Featherington said, well, I guess there's a few things that I can apologize for. Mm-hmm. One being the dresses.
Yeah.
2, not paying you enough. I'm like, yes, girl, get into it. It. Don't be stingy. She done already came back over here talking about she getting her stuff that don't exist.
Yeah, no, that was sweet. I was like, this was cute. And I feel like they've softened, even though the mom is still a biatch, they've softened Lady Featherington.
Yeah, they have.
And so that's good for that character. They need to show some growth. So
absolutely.
And then that maid being the maid, she really was like pivotal in getting homegirl Sophie arrested. Like she was bringing the tea, and she was trying to track Posey. Posey ducked on her. She was pivotal to this storyline. I feel like she was probably the maid that we saw the most, aside from Sophie.
Yeah, and
and
definitely.
The maid with the only her forearm missing. Yes, I was like, this is nice. I like that they put her in there because it is initially like you're not used to seeing it, but we need to start incorporating more and more and more of disabilities and things like that into everyday TV. So it's like,
it shouldn't feel jarring.
Yes. And so we need to see more of it. I enjoyed that they did that. And she was just, bubbly, awesome character.
Full of energy, Kiki, a good time. I was like, that's gonna be Sophie's bestie.
I know, right?
Little do you know. She gonna be right there arm in arm with her. No pun intended.
I ain't got time. But she is. But anything else on this drop of episodes? Like this season?
Nothing else for this season. I think we covered most of it. Make sure you check out our Bridgerton Part 1 recap once you finish this one, or vice versa, wherever you're at. And we will catch you for the next season. We are also covering Love is Blind. I know, 2 years. We're covering Love is Blind, Paradise, Survivor. We also did a recap for America's Next Top Model. So we got a lot of things in the queue, a lot of things to watch. Make sure you share it with a friend. And thank you for listening.
And hype us up. Bye.
Yes, hype us up and subscribe. Bye.
Yes, bye.